You all asked, so let's talk about it. I'm Dr. Patrice Berry, licensed psychologist, and I wanted to talk a little bit about Alexis Trevizo. I might be saying that wrong. She is a teen out of New Mexico that has been arrested after an incident at a hospital. And the whole thing is very tragic. All the trigger warnings, and really, this is for educational purposes only. If you have questions for me, you can feel free to leave them in the comments or any reactions that you have. This is just very troubling. And specifically, I was asked to talk about her mother because you kind of see and observe some things that I do not know them. I cannot diagnose. I'm just going to talk about some of my observations based on these videos from Law and Crime. I will leave the full links to these videos down in the description. We're just going to watch a few clips from some of these.
Lexi, I told you about this.
You are detained. You are not free to leave at this point. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir. How big is the baby?
It's full term.
What?
So we started working her up. We did a pregnancy test on her, showed positive. She was denying that she had sex. Then she said she had to go to the bathroom. She went to the bathroom. She was in there for quite a while. We kept knocking on the door. Finally, we got her to open the door, and there was blood everywhere. She was cleaning it up.
Okay.
So we took her back to the room, and I was afraid that she knew she was pregnant. She had done something to herself.
Mm-hmm.
So the doctor started doing an exam on her. We had the lady come to clean the bathroom. She put the baby in the trash.
And so the poor person that was going in to clean the restroom, and it's my understanding is that it was everywhere, and we don't know. The police are believing, and I believe the autopsy showed that there was oxygen in the baby's lungs, which would have meant that it was born alive, and she placed it in the trash can and that something might have happened there in the bathroom. I don't know of any other injuries or anything, but this is very, very troubling. But let's just look a little bit more at this and then take a look at her mother's reaction when she was arrested.
Trash can, and then she put another clean liner over the top of it.
It came out of me and I didn't know. Lexi, I told you about this. I just asked you, baby, to tell me the truth. It was not crying or nothing. What did you do to it? Okay, stop right here. Stop.
So, like, her mother's first reaction was, "What did you do to it?" But then it's just odd because then the mother seems very concerned that she was arrested later. Like, this is
Number one priority, guys. Number one priority is she just had a baby. I don't know if she's delivered the placenta. She's bleeding significantly.
Yeah.
I've spoken to the obstetrician at Loveless. They want her out there as soon as possible.
Okay.
I obviously need your permission to transfer her for medicals. She's
19.
Oh, you're right.
But she is a student too.
She's still 19 years
you're
old.
right.
Yeah, at 18 years old. So the mom was still trying, and throughout this entire process, the mom tries to be she just very much tries to be in control of everything. And this is her child. I get like
You're right. She needs to. I'm sorry, I forgot she's 18. But you need to make sure that you're safe. I need to send you to Loveless to labor delivery. Will you please agree
and she's still looking at her mother.
to that?
Yes.
Okay, great. I'm gonna work
And she said yes after her mother said yes.
on that. In terms, I'm sorry about this, but in terms of delivering a baby and it looked like you tried to hide it, we do have to have the police involved.
And nothing was crying. It came out with nothing.
I know. But the baby's gonna have to be taken for autopsy and there'll be an investigator and everything. I'm really sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, but we need to do this correct.
And okay, this is just y'all come here for psychological reaction to this. Her current state seems to be that she's upset that her mother found out. So there's in the full video, I don't know if it's this one or a different one, but you see her come out the bathroom after delivering and knowing, and then she hid it that she did not seem distressed. She did not seem upset. And that really it was after they found it and after she had to tell her mother that, all of this, that is when she starts having the emotional reaction. And from where I am, that seems to be more about her being in trouble than about losing a child. And one of the nurses, I think one of the male, I believe it was a nurse, he talked about how he's seen people that had miscarried after 6 weeks and they were distraught. And that's a very different, because I think in her situation, she said that she was scared, and that is not an excuse. So once again, that in no way excuses anything. It just helps me understand that if the household is a little bit more controlling and authoritarian, where it's like you do what I, and it's just very that there was no way she was going to tell her mother that she was pregnant, and there was no way, but this wasn't the way. Ugh, out. This wasn't it. And there's another case that's very similar to this, and we might get to that towards the end. But a 19-year-old, because she was actually just found guilty. And I think I will just show a little bit of her testimony. Her mental health diagnosis came up, but it's just interesting. I think she might have been in New Mexico as well, and her child lived. They were able to recover her child alive. Some dumpster divers ended up finding her child. But in these situations, it's very, very concerning and troubling to me that her current reaction, it seems to be more about being fear and everything of getting in trouble with the law, and then also with her mother.
Exactly. And I want to be transparent with you about what our steps are going to be. Officer, do you guys need to talk to her before we get her transferred?
How long is it gonna be before you have to transfer
I
out?
don't know. Are we working on?
Okay.
Maria,
So-
do you think 20, 30 minutes?
Yeah, hopefully, yes.
Okay.
I got detectives on the way, so
Okay.
they're gonna be talking first.
Okay.
Do you guys have, I'm the charge nurse here, do you guys have any questions for me?
Like, how big is the baby?
It's full term.
What? 9 months? Nothing was crying. Let's see.
And then she focused on the crying again part, not the size.
Have you watched the news of the girls that what they do to their babies and what they go to jail? Nothing was crying.
And I believe the hospital, because let's say she did have what she said did happen. What you do is you let the nurses try to do their job to save it if they can. Because sometimes even if a child comes out and they're not breathing, you are able to clear I don't know, like it does end up surviving. But they're saying that there was oxygen in the lungs, which would have meant that there was a breath.
Any other questions? Okay.
So as of right now, like I said, is we're gonna have the detectives come over here and they're gonna talk to you, okay? We have to gather some more information about what's going on. They'll get your statement, they're gonna get the doctor's statements, they're gonna get everybody's statements, okay? So I don't know everything yet, okay? So I'm not gonna tell you, I can't tell you nothing honestly, okay? All I can
But
say
she's
is,
not gonna go to jail.
right now,
No.
right now, she's being detained. So she's not gonna leave from here at all, period, okay? So one of us will
She's
be
in your custody? Like,
yeah, she's detained. Yeah, she's not under arrest, but she is
Okay.
detained, okay? She's not free to leave. So while this whole thing is coming up.
So I'll mention it now because the mother talks about her own trauma a little bit later. And with generational trauma, it's really important that people get help and support. If there is a family history of trauma, I will try to find the clip where the mother talks about, and it was odd the way that it came up, but I think they were asking if she had any medical conditions, and then the mother brought up some prenatal trauma that she had experienced at the hand of Alexee's father. And this is just heartbreaking.
Up is you're not free to leave, okay? One of us will be in here the whole time with you because you're not gonna try to leave or nothing like that.
She
All right.
won't.
Like I said, the detectives will be here. They're gonna talk to you. I mean, your care is of the utmost right now, okay? They're going to do what they need to do to take care of you to make sure you get stable. They get you transferred out or whatever. Like I said, the detectives are already been notified. They're already on the way. So they're going to come talk to you. All right. So don't leave. Don't try to do nothing. One of us is always going to be in here in this room with you. Okay. Unless we have to step out for doctor's orders, something like that, because if they need to examine you or do something with you. But other than that, like I said, you are detained. You are not free to leave at this point. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Where was the baby at?
I don't know. I have no clue yet. Like I said, I just talked to the charge nurse. We're still getting all the information right now. Okay. Once we
So she knows. So it was just, this whole thing is just so odd.
get that information, like I said, the detectives, they can clue you out on everything and talk to you more about it.
Okay.
All right. Do you happen to have an ID on you, perchance?
Yes, she does.
Okay. Can we get that?
And the mother answers for her. And there's and I want to be careful because sometimes the parent, even for adult children, they speak for them. They are the ones directing their care. The dynamic it does seem a little off. So now I want to play a few clips from when she was arrested at her home, and specifically mom. And the way that Long Crime described it, I think they called mom hysterical, but like, we'll just watch it.
Hey, what's going on? What are we doing? I'll bring her out. Just tell me what's going on. Okay.
I will give it to her whenever
Can I see her?
she gets in the warrant. She gets arrested.
This is my house. I have a right to see.
And I think the mom is confused about like what her rights are. Like, because there's an arrest warrant for her daughter. And even if her daughter is in her home, and I'm not a lawyer, but to my knowledge, she doesn't have the right to see the arrest warrant or anything.
I'm letting you know she has a warrant for her as well. I have a search warrant for your house. We have a warrant for her arrest.
Okay, can we see the warrant?
Yeah, once we
So they go back and forth about this for a while, for a long time. Okay. So I'm going to skip forward a little bit.
Give me a minute.
Okay.
We're not going to be rough with her or anything. We're just going to take her over there and book her.
Please don't be rough with her, please.
Yeah. Just bring her out. You can be with her the entire time. Okay?
You know where the public safety complex is? 3300 West Main?
You can follow us over there.
So like her daughter is the one that's being arrested, and the whole time now, okay, if my child was getting arrested, I would be upset about it. This reaction just seems to be a little bit more than what I would expect. I'll say that. And this is just from where I am. It seems to be more.
I'll take you there. You can follow me.
As soon as I release the criminal complaint to her, she can then give it to you there, okay?
When can I get like her bond? What?
That's set up by the judge. It's Magistrate Judge Chuck
When-
Foster. He should be doing it. If it's after 3, he'll be doing it in the morning. Go on the back? All right.
Hi. What's your name?
Alexi.
Okay. What's the last 4 of your social?
She don't even know it.
You don't know it?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Alexei, do you know your date of birth?
Yes.
Okay.
What is it?
11/25 birthday.
Yeah.
Do you have to walk her all the way over there? Can you bring your car up there?
The mom asked him to pull the car up closer. Now, okay.
Yeah,
That's all.
I'll go get it.
Well,
They're being incredibly accommodating, I think, because they could have because she was in the home, and so we're 7.5 minutes in, and I don't know if the parts of it were cut or anything, but it took a while for her to finally go and get Lexi, for Lexi to come out.
Are you okay with your mom getting your criminal complaint when we get to the detention center? It has your personal information
Can you
on it.
repeat that?
Are you okay with your mother getting the criminal complaint? It has your personal identifying information on it. Serial number, date of birth.
Yes.
Are you okay?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think she knew her mother wanted her to say yes. And I don't know that she necessarily cared if her mom saw it or not. But a little bit later, when they're going to give it to her, and they're again just asking if she wants her mom to have that information, she does again say that yes, she is okay with her mom having it.
I have to serve you first, then your mom can get it, okay? I do. He's gonna move his unit around.
Okay, gonna fast forward a little bit. All right. So that was that one. Now for more at the hospital. And I believe this was after the mom had come out and they were about to transport her out. There were some interesting parts from this that I wanted to share.
Okay. Is this your family?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, I'm Detective Gonzalez, Officer Chief of Police Department. What questions do you have for me right now?
What's gonna go on? Like, what can I be with her?
She's getting life flighted out right now.
Okay.
So they're taking her right now.
Okay.
I haven't spoke to her at all.
Okay. So like what's gonna go on? Like what's gonna happen with her? Like.
So she's gonna get treatment before we even talk to her because she needs to be stabilized. So that's why she's getting life flighted out.
Okay.
Once she gets stabilized, we'll try and talk to her. The baby's gonna go up north for autopsy.
Mm-hmm.
More likely, it will be done within the next day.
And so they just kind of go back and forth about that.
Hey, will I be able to bring her home with me?
Yes.
I will.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know where she'll be going.
With me.
No.
To my house. I mean, like.
When she gets life flighted,
okay.
I don't know which one.
They told me Loveless Regional. Yeah.
Loveless Regional.
Yes. Yeah.
That's
Okay.
my card.
Okay.
Keep a hold of me.
Okay.
So if she stays at Loveless and then she gets released, she can go back to y'all.
Okay.
And I'll be in touch with you to try and set up an interview with her.
Okay.
Would y'all mind talking to me later when y'all are okay?
Yeah, I was with her. I know she talked to him for a while on the phone, and then she came to me. So I've been with her the rest of the time.
Today?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what did she come here for that she told you?
She told me she had back pain.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay. Has she been having back pain before?
Yeah, she's pain for her and her hips is no. I mean, she was born with like I don't know. It's like crooked.
Her spine?
Okay, because my ex-husband, he hit me. He beat me whenever I was pregnant with her.
Mm-hmm.
So she was early. So she had some problems with her hips. Like I always had to take her to chiropractor to get adjusted because she couldn't use she was always getting constipated. Like she had to get lined up, whatever. So I mean, I've been taking her to chiropractor because I always thought, well, this time, I didn't know. I honestly didn't know she was pregnant. I didn't know. I just thought, like she said, I had back pain more. My hips are hurting me. I think I need to go to the chiropractor. I said, okay, let's go tomorrow. But she was like in really a lot of pain, and
When did it start?
Like the pain?
Yes.
Yesterday she said it was really bad, that her hips were hurting and her back. And then last night we're on the phone together and she said her hips were hurting bad. And I asked her if anything else was hurting, and she said just everything. And she went to sleep.
But she's a cheerleader too, so she's big in cheers. They have cheer competition. She works out. I mean.
And she's been active this whole
yeah,
time?
Yeah, she's been active this whole time.
And who does she live with?
With me.
So
parents. Oh, that's yeah, because she's in school. She's a senior. So.
And how long have y'all been together?
Almost 2 years.
2 years? Okay.
Okay, so while I was researching the other case, another one came out, and this is Alexis Avila. She testified on her own behalf, and she also was sentenced. So she was found guilty and was sentenced for placing her child in a dumpster, and they had video of it. And I guess it came out that she has some mental health diagnoses. I want to say bipolar disorder. Due to that, the judge amended her sentence just a little bit. I did not follow this entire trial, but I'll just play a little bit of her testimony.
Um, and then she told me that I was pregnant. When she told you you were pregnant, what did you think at the time? I'm not sure. I kind of blacked out. Why did you black out? I was in shock, I guess. What else did she tell you? Oh, I don't remember. Why don't you remember? Because I blacked out.
So we know that it wasn't her intent per se. She didn't strangle the baby. She didn't do anything to physically end the baby's life. But however she left it, where had it not been discovered, that ultimately would have been the case.
In the opening statements that they don't disagree with the evidence, and they don't disagree.
So 3 people ended up dumpster diving later that same evening. So I guess it might have been like a cold night or something. And they end up finding the baby.
That the defendant needs to be held accountable, but they do disagree with the charges brought against their client. Right now, we had just started watching.
Okay, so I'm going to fast forward a little bit.
They give you any information as to what to do next, anything like that? No, ma'am. They just told me to stop taking the medication that the hospital provided me with. Okay, so you remember that part? Yes. Okay. Is there anything else that you were told that you remember? No, ma'am. Okay. Did you understand why you had to stop taking that medication? Not fully, but not fully. Okay. Do you now realize why you were told to stop? Yes, ma'am. Okay. So they tell you, you understand that you had to stop taking the medication and then you left? Yes, ma'am. You went to work? Yes, ma'am. Okay. What did you do that day at work for the rest of the day? I wouldn't be able to tell you. Why not? I don't remember. But you remember being at work? Yes. Now we're going to talk about January the 7th, okay? Something happened that day that brought us to this case today, right? So we'll talk about that day. Before we talk about that though, so when you gathered with your family on the 6th, did you tell anybody what the doctor told you? No, ma'am. Why didn't you tell them? I was still trying to process it myself. What did that look like for you, processing it? I wouldn't be able to tell you. Were you at that moment aware that you were going to birth a baby the next day? No, absolutely not. So the next day, January 7th, what did you do that morning? Nothing much. I believe that whole day I was in bed. Why were you in bed? For my back pain. What did that?
And I think she might have had some pre-existing back pain, but this is where it's really important. So back pain can be a sign of labor. That often people will feel it. It'll be intense pain within your back to where you're not able to move. I thought contractions and cramps that it was going to be mostly like stomach, but it was just like it was a lot that it's this pain that sometimes it can feel like in your back, and it can feel just like you have to go to the bathroom when you're delivering. I have one child. I was laboring for 3 days before being in active labor because there's like this so it was my one and only child, and often the first can be one of the longer ones. A friend of mine had told me she had been in labor for like days, and I was like, yeah, right. But and then I got payback because I was in labor for days. and but it wasn't consistent. It wasn't all day pain. It would kind of come and go.
It feel like as it was set up.
The same, like pulling muscles in my back, like sharp pain.
What about your parents on the 7th? What were they doing that morning?
They were at work.
Both your mom and dad went to work?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you're at home? Was there anybody else?
No, ma'am.
So while you're home, what do you do other than lay in bed?
That's about it. A couple of times I would get up to use the restroom or try to, but I would just go back to bed.
Okay, when you say you would get up to try to use the restroom, what was going on with you at that time?
I just felt like I really needed to go to the restroom. I felt really constipated, which is nothing unusual.
So you felt constipation before?
Yes.
So you know what that felt like? And you believe that's what was going on?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you do anything to resolve what felt like constipation?
Not during the morning. There was a time, I wouldn't be able to tell you the time where my dad did take me some kind of pill. I don't know what it was. It's some kind of constipation pill. And I took that and I went right back to sleep.
Okay. So you go right back to sleep, and then what's the next thing that happened?
I woke up and I used the restroom. Well, my dad was actually there when I woke up after taking the pill. He was only there for a short amount of time. He did probably his insulin or something, used the restroom and left. And then when he when he got out of the restroom to leave, that's when I went into the restroom.
Okay. So this time around when you went to the restroom, what happened?
I delivered a baby.
How did that happen?
And once again, this baby survived and is living with family.
I know. I just remember sitting there. And then the baby was on the toilet or on the floor. I don't remember.
You don't remember if he was in the toilet bowl or on the floor? So what were you thinking in that moment?
I was in shock. Like, how could this happen?
So what did you do?
This is also where I wonder how the education on reproductive health in New Mexico. I wonder, because there are some states, especially very conservative states, where they do abstinence only and they don't talk about different options and different things, and kids don't know that, like, hey, these are the ways that things can happen, and these are the signs, and these are the steps. And so that was one of the things that went through my mind, and considering that both of these cases were out of New Mexico.
I don't remember.
What was the next thing that you remember?
I think when me and my mom got to the police station to go to the hospital.
All right. So you all asked, we talked about it. I also recently did a video on adult children of emotionally immature parents. And I'm not saying, so I in no way blame any of these parents, or I do think that sometimes when my child does not know that, like, hey, I might be mad, I might be upset, but there's no need to like fear my reaction to what happened. That I want my child to know that no matter what, now you're going to have consequences. Like we're going to have to talk about options, like that no matter what, that my child can come to me if something isn't okay. And that I will manage my own response to be able to be there and support my child, and that somehow hopefully we can mitigate and avoid like something bigger down the road if you just come to me and tell me up front. And so, like, my child is failing a class, that, hey, like, let me know. Like, I already talked to the teacher. I'm working on this extra credit, or I have these missing assignments, and this is what I'm working on. Like, I feel like some people nowadays like problem solving. So that's why sometimes my kid, he'll be like, why this or why that? And then I encourage him to think. I'm like, why do you think? Or if he's like, or if I ask him, like, hey, don't do this, he's like, why? I'm like, let's think. And I really encourage thought, problem solving, growth mindset. Mistakes are how we learn. And there's usually a mistake and like that. And once again, I do believe in consequences. And so she was sentenced, and we'll see what happens with the other case. Just very, very sad situations. And so I will link a few other videos that y'all might find interesting or helpful. Make sure if you like the crime content that you check out my crime playlist. I also have other just general mental health content. Like, I really enjoy doing that as well. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.